Hey guys, Sean with Long Long Honeymoon here, coming to you from the banks of the Gros Ventre River. Yes, it is wonderful to be back in one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth, the Gros Ventre Wilderness in Grand Teton National Park. Today we're taking a look at a typical week for a couple of RV travelers who don't like to plan. Real life. We started out this past week in Billings, Montana. You see, good citizens have been here. People who are not lazy. It's Monday, and it may be time for a haircut. Over the years, we've gotten in this routine of posting our Long Long Honeymoon videos on Sunday, and that means that Sunday, sadly, is typically a pretty busy work day. Mondays are for housekeeping and traveling. Not since the great toilet paper shortage of 2020 have I seen shelves ravaged in this way. We are currently on a wild goose chase. Last night, we were emptying our tanks at a Holiday gas station, and I had a camera out. I think I set the camera on the side of our truck, and it's about a $500 camera. It's missing. Never could find the camera. I think probably what happened is I set a black camera down on top of our black tonneau cover on our truck, and as we were packing everything up to leave, I forgot about the camera. But I tell this story because it goes to show anytime you're unpacking, you're repacking, you always need to do a walk around inspection, double check, because even experienced RV travelers occasionally make a mistake. And in this case, it was a $500 mistake, sadly. So on Monday, we traveled from Billings over to Livingston.
Yeah, we're good.
Livingston has a really charming downtown area, and I understand there are a lot of great restaurants around here. You about ready?
I'm ready.
To go get some vittles? But our dilemma today is that it is Labor Day. And of course, we all celebrate Labor Day by doing no labor whatsoever. So a lot of restaurants are closed, but we're gonna see what we can find. It's always a good Mexican place. Well, Livingston has a downtown area with a lot of charm and character. In fact, we saw a couple of walking tours taking place on the day we were there. I mention this simply because you could venture into certain shopping centers in Florida and they're not going to look that different from the same shopping centers in California or Washington or Minnesota. I think Scheels has one-upped Cabela's in the amusement park ride department. And of course, quality taxidermy. Here's looking at you, kid. So it's really wonderful to venture into small towns and into historic downtown areas whenever possible. But here's where I think we are absolutely crazy in terms of RV travelers. Like most RV travelers probably would not be in this situation. It's 8:30 at night. We have no place to stay. We don't know exactly where we're going to stop for the night. We would like to stop somewhere here in the Livingston area, but it doesn't look like it's going to be possible. So we're probably moving on to Bozeman. And yes, I did marry well. My wife can tow. Fairly typical Walmart parking lot. A little bit of greenery. Got a fellow Airstreamer back there. Nice sidewalk. Got some nice landscaping. I hate to say this, but I've stayed in worse RV parks.
$110 later.
110 bucks for our little campsite.
Yep.
It's really not about cost for us, it's about lifestyle, because we tend to be afternoon and evening people. We're not really morning people. We're night owls by nature, both of us. So we tend to prefer travel in the afternoons and even in the evenings. And we don't want to arrive at campgrounds too late. It just doesn't make any sense to check into a campground late at night, only to be forced out the next morning at 11 a.m. Yep.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Appreciate you working me in.
Absolutely. There's always people running late.
Right? This may surprise some of you, but when you're traveling as a digital nomad, your hair will probably continue to grow. And yes, beneath this hat, I do have a head full of luscious hair. Something I enjoy when I'm getting a haircut in a different town is talking to the stylist and maybe learning more about his or her local community. And in this case, about some local hot springs. One haircut later, she did a great job.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kelly at Great Clips, the appropriately named Great Clips in Bozeman, Montana. Something else I did in Bozeman was work out.
In 3, 2, 1, push pace.
Believe it or not, occasionally I do like to get on a treadmill and burn some beer fat. Having a nationwide gym membership has many benefits for the RV traveler. It does allow you to keep your waistline somewhat in check. But secondly, most nationwide gyms offer some sort of shower facilities. So if you want to conserve the water of your RV, you can always go into the gym, work out, take a nice shower, and save your own water for those boondocking and dry camping destinations. How do you like it?
It's really nice. It's kind of the perfect temperature to be warm and really comfortable.
You have an incredible atmosphere out here. It's so pleasant, so relaxing. I mean, what a treat. This is the kind of experience you can have if you seek it out. They're out there in every corner of the country. Now, Bozeman Hot Springs is a developed hot springs area. And by developed, I mean they have developed separate pools, so it's more of a swimming pool type of hot spring than an all-natural type of hot spring. Typically, we prefer the all-natural types of hot springs, but because Bozeman Hot Springs had a campground, we thought we would give it a shot. Here you see our site at Bozeman Hot Springs. We got a nice site here on the end. Have a nice little yard area here. This site is a water and electric site. There's no sewer hookup, but they do have a dump station here. And this is a nice long site. We are able to get in here, obviously, without being forced to unhitch, which is a plus if you're traveling with a travel trailer and stopping for one night.
Got our armbands for the hot springs.
Hot Springs armbands, now we're talking.
So we can go in tonight until 11 p.m. and then they reopen in the morning at 6 a.m. and we can go all day tomorrow.
Yeah, sweet.
Even past checkout time. So
we ended up really being pleasantly surprised by these hot springs. But you should know, one night in this campground had a sticker price of around $90, I think $91 and change, which of course sounds like a lot. However, they honored the AAA or Good Sam discount, which knocked it down 10%. So our total cost was around $82, and that included 2 days of access to the hot springs, and 1 day of access to the hot springs is worth $17 a ticket on a weekday anyway. So the total value of just the hot springs tickets alone was $68. For an additional 15 bucks, we got to stay in a nice campsite with water and electricity. Having 2 days of access to the hot springs was great because we were able to sample them both during the day and at night. Given the choice, as I said, we are night people. I love the atmosphere at night. What's really great about Bozeman Hot Springs is that you can really choose your own temperature from 55 degrees all the way up to 106 degrees. There are multiple different pools. Some of the pools are located indoors in the facility, some are outside, and you can just have a normal swimming day if you prefer in water that's like 85 degrees in the ideal swimming temperature. You can freeze your buns off in the 55-degree pool and then clamber over into the 106-degree hot pool. We set out on Tuesday not knowing where we would end up. We are traveling a very busy Highway 191 down towards West Yellowstone and then probably on to Island Park. And we just had a pleasant stop along the Gallatin River. And it's just a beautiful river in Montana. And there are a lot of turnouts along the highway where you can stop and go down and enjoy the water. This is where our style of travel really differs from the norm. I'm not saying it's better. It certainly would be worse for many people and for many families to have this kind of uncertainty when you depart and not knowing where you're going to end up. But we left with the intentions of traveling to Island Park in Idaho because we really wanted to explore that area. We have stopped in West Yellowstone for some supplies.
I'm Howie.
Howie, nice to meet you.
Pittsburgh.
He said, are you that guy from the videos? Yep.
Yeah.
Making another video. There's that girl from the videos.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
This is Howie from Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
I'm Christy. Nice to meet you.
Good
I
deal.
didn't want to say nothing because
No, that's good. I appreciate it. I appreciate your saying hello. Don't forget the firewood. We just had a little impromptu Loloho Nation gathering here in West Yellowstone. Met several different couples, one from New Orleans, one from Tennessee, and our friends Ronnie and Tara. You may know as Airstream Nuts and Bolts,
Yep.
who installed our great solar package last year that we've been enjoying on this trip. Yep. So a lot of fun, but we got to go figure out where we're going to stay.
Yep.
We would love to have a dispersed camping site, and I guess this makes an argument for leaving a little bit earlier in the day, but of course we lingered, but now we're in a slight pickle trying to figure out where we're going to stop for the night. Find Beaver Campground.
Which result would you like?
No, we don't want Beaver Dick Campground, just Beaver Campground, thank you.
Oh, I see, Beaver.
So this is Cabin Creek Campground, which is supposed to have availability. There's camping over there on the river.
Turn right on Cabin Creek Campground.
So it's $20.
$20 daily fee, single site. Stay limit here is 16 days.
Checkout time's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. checkout time, very civilized. Husbands must be kept on leash. In this case, I have to say that the unplanned RV travel life has really paid off. We pulled up here at Cabin Creek right around 6:45 in the evening. The sun was setting, but we found a beautiful site. This site is huge, has a large fire pit and a monstrous picnic table and plenty of space to stretch out. We have a bear storage locker. Seen lots of bear warnings in this park. We got an Airstream neighbor to our left and a 1962 Avion neighbor to our right, who also happens to be the campground host. Overall, it's very quiet back here. We actually have some mountain views. We can hear the sounds of the water flowing through the creek behind us.
I think it's pretty darn nice.
Did pretty good, huh?
I think we did pretty good. Yep.
I believe it's fine to create a campfire here. So I'm really pleased that we bought that firewood. We're gonna set up and grill some steaks and have a campfire and have ourselves a good old time here in the forest of Montana. We audibled. We were set out going to Island Park, and then we decided we would go to Beaver Den and ended up at Cabin Creek. But we initially like this site so much that we decided to unhitch and stick around for a couple of nights because it's just absolutely peaceful and beautiful back here.
Guys, I recognized your voice. Hi. I had seen you were in the area, but I thought you were ahead of us and everything.
Yeah. That is funny. Recognize her voice.
I did. I recognized it. I kind of stood down, and then I went, oh my God, I recognize that voice. Well, we love your videos.
Thank you. So from our base of operations in the Gallatin National Forest, we decided to venture over into Yellowstone. This year, we actually took our own advice and we chose a new hike, or a new to us hike, called Fairy Falls. So you are looking at one of Yellowstone's most famous attractions from across the geyser basin. That is Grand Prismatic Spring. After about a 1 mile hike along the Midway Geyser Basin, we have taken a left towards Fairy Falls, and it's another 1.6 miles up to the falls. So the total hiking distance is around 5 miles.
Yeah.
That's assuming you plan on returning from the hike.
Huh.
And eventually you come out at the payoff to this hike, Fairy Falls, which is really a beautiful waterfall scene. We spent some quality time at Fairy Falls, and actually at Fairy Falls we ended up running into a number of other Long Honeymoon viewers, had a lot of fun. So we're just hiking back to Fairy Falls. We met a couple members of Loloho Nation, a couple of Texans out here in Wyoming.
That's awesome. Yay!
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
I was walking up and I was like, that cannot be.
Thank you so much for the positive energy and positive feedback. That really, really energizes us and makes us so happy.
Yeah, 100%.
We're happy you're having a great trip.
Yeah, keep uploading because we're going to keep watching.
All right, cool. Appreciate it very much, man.
Cold leftover pizza and hot black coffee. The way breakfast was meant to be.
Now we're getting to more of the planned portion of this week. Why did we plan? Well, we planned to be here. This year, for the first time in history, I suppose, this Gros-Ventre campground has gone to a reservation only status. So we actually had to book our sites here in the campground 6 months in advance. And so we've had these reservations all year long, have been looking forward to this all year, but we had to be here on Friday to check in. Before we came here, we decided to take care of one other piece of business. Oh, I just want to dump our black here.
You know somebody's done it.
I'm sure.
That's why we have to put up a sign.
There's a reason for this sign. We've been traveling for the past several weeks and have taken our Airstream down many a dirty, muddy, unpaved road. So we decided to clean the old gal up a bit. We took our Airstream to a local spa. Although we do have that fantastic ceramic NanoShield coating on our Airstream, unfortunately it doesn't wash itself. Until Elon Musk develops the Tesla RV wash robot, we still have to do a bit of manual labor to clean up our trailer. Guys, did I marry well or what?
This deserves a manicure and a pedicure.
Costs a lot of quarters and one manicure and pedicure. 1 minute. Here, give me quarters, I can feed it. I have to say that not since my glory days of playing Donkey Kong in the arcade have I gone through this many quarters so quickly. We have soap. So for the next week, we will be here in the Gros-Ventre campground in Grand Teton National Park. And beyond that, we have no plan. We may end up in Island Park eventually. We'll find out. So that's it, guys, another sloppy episode of Long Long Honeymoon. I'm calling these sloppy episodes because much like this past week, it's been mostly unplanned, but I hope you found it interesting. And for those of you especially who are contemplating a full-time RV lifestyle, it might offer some insight as far as what to expect. Again, until next time, thanks as always for tuning in. I'm Sean, this is Long Long Honeymoon. If you're new, please subscribe. Lolo ho. Yeah, you have to watch your back around here. So, some large moose just... They just crossed the river?
Right up there fishing that hole. They punched in right next to me.
Wow. So this is what happens here in Gros-Ventre. As I was wrapping up my little spiel in this video, I heard a shout behind me, and there's a fisherman back there who's been fishing in the river, and 3 large moose just crossed the river and really startled the fisherman, took him by surprise. So you gotta watch your step when you're out here by the river or in the campground, because the moose are very active this time of year. And it's one of the reasons that we love this place so much. You know, when we pulled up here last night, Christy turned to me and said, "We're back in our happy place." Indeed we are. It feels so good to be back.